Hello everyone, welcome to the Tech Podcast series. This is Lakshit Pant from Azure Developer Community, and today we have Mr. Winny Patro here with us, and this podcast will revolve around India's first credit and payment reporting fintech platform for non-banking transactions. And for the same, we have Mr. Winny Patro. Just if you could introduce yourself a bit.
Hi, Lakshit. First of all, thanks for having me on the show. So my name is Winny Patro. I'm co-founder and CEO of Recordent. We are one of India's most comprehensive end-to-end credit-to-cash platform for SMEs with a vision to sort of change the landscape and transform SMEs to grow better.
Yeah, thanks for the intro. And now, starting just to initiate the podcast from where I would like to know how has been your entrepreneur journey started? How has this building the idea of Recordant has came up to your mind, and how has been the progress in all these years?
Oh yeah. So in fact, this is not my first entrepreneurial venture. So this is my fourth. So been a sort of a, if you can call it as a serial entrepreneur, you may so. But then yeah, my journey of entrepreneurship started way back in 2008. Then this is my fourth venture. So to be specific with Recordant, is a quite an interesting journey because before Recordant, I was in the government in a bureaucratic role where my responsibility was to increase the employment of the state and also build innovation policy and startup ecosystem for the state of Andhra Pradesh. I was fairly representing even Startup India. So from being in that space of sort of being in the space of a very impactful in the government role to starting Recordant, right? That's a very interesting journey. Why? Because I was in a role where to sort of work on creating and increasing the employment. Recordant has very close connect with what I was doing, because for us, for me personally, starting Recordant and sort of co-founding Recordant is about how can we solve the problem of SMEs, because SMEs are the job creators for the country, right? And the fact that SMEs growth is always sort of limited by so many things, and that obviously has blockages for creation of jobs. So we thought, what is the biggest block? So that's the collection of payments. Cash flows are the issue. So therefore, we thought if we can solve that problem of collections, receiving payments on time, SMEs can grow and create a lot more jobs. So for me, entrepreneurial journey started off with that very personal and very purposeful, thought of working towards, solving the most important problem, a crucial problem for SMEs, and that will lead to creation of jobs, right? So since it's been sort of very purposeful thought, and the background of that kind of a background when you started off, doesn't matter how many challenges you would face, and how many bottlenecks you'll have, if you don't feel it so much pressure, or you don't take sort of stress, you do take, but I think there's always better things at the end of the funnel, on the other side of the funnel. So therefore we definitely had the difficulties, especially with COVID, because we started off in 2020, and then just before the COVID, and then our plans had to be changed because of the pandemic and lockdowns. And literally we have built teams from home. So in a way, our company was in fact built from homes. We've all had to work from homes, and for that reason, it took us almost 2 years to meet people, right? Because we never met them before. We've recruited people online, and we started working online, and then we didn't meet a lot of them, but we were all working for a common cause. So it's been an interesting and a very challenging in such kind of environments. Building culture and building that trust and confidence is very difficult. We've faced all of that, and also the times have changed quite a bit with the way startup ecosystem is turning out to be. The sentiments aren't as good as they were earlier before pandemic. So we had to face all of this. Funding has been a challenge. And when you're going after a new category like us, which is a not explored and not offered by other startups, and when you have a first mover, it's so difficult for you to go out and explain to not just to customers but also for other stakeholders or investors and so on and so forth. Yeah, the journey hasn't been uh, all like a great journey, or I would say it's like a
Right.
very positive. It has its own ups and downs and lots of ups and downs. Yeah.
Exactly. And when you step into a very untouched market, definitely you face lots of challenges in the starting. And so I would like for our audience per se, if you could throw some lights on the credit bureau model, specifically for the when we talk about these, all the non-transaction model and the for as per the recordent, if you could explain a little bit about the credit bureau model, it would be really helpful for our audience to understand. At the
For
same
sure.
time, yeah, at the same time, the follow-up question would be, so India has been grappling with challenging payment culture, and you have been stepping into the market. So I was just would like to know, how does this impact the growth and opportunity for MSME and SMEs in the country?
I will touch base both the questions. Just to start with, to explain about what is that we're building, what is that so-called the credit bureau angle. So I'll be able to sort of explain this in a very easier manner by giving a reference of how credit bureaus work in the banking system to start with, right? If you
Okay.
go back to the late 90s, even in 2000s, mid 2000s, right? Early 2000s and mid 2000s, the banks didn't have, or the credit bureaus were not existing in India, or even they were existing, they were not in use. So banks had to rely on, a few documents to provide loans, and then banks had to struggle with late payments. Banks had to struggle with late payments on their loans and so on and so forth. So what happened with credit bureaus is that banks started depending on what is the information on how we are paying, because credit bureaus capture our payment details on loans and credit card payments, whether we are paying on time or not. Now that behavior is captured by credit bureaus. Now banks depend upon that information to provide loans. Now things have changed so much after 2000, maybe from late 2000s onwards. Things have changed so much. Now banks take credit bureau information like from CIBIL, Equifax, Experian, and Highmark. These are the four credit bureaus we have in India. So banks go and fetch the data before offering loan. If we go and ask for a loan, it's not only we individuals, even businesses go and ask for a loan. They fetch the data how this business or an individual are paying their credit card and loan repayments. Based on that, banks will decide whether to lend money to you or not. Right now, that is what the credit bureaus do. Now think about, the credit bureaus are not there today. There are no bureaus for you to assess that payments outside the loans and credit cards, because the
Okay.
credit bureaus are only for loans and credit cards. Now,
Yes.
or now, if you go to outside of these payments, right? There are so many other payments that we all do as individuals, at businesses. They not only pay loans and credit cards every month, they pay a lot of other things, right? They pay to other vendors, they pay to other suppliers, they pay to a lot of payments happen. But are these happening? They also pay electricity bills, telephone bills, what. So all of these are paying on time or not is also an important payment behavior that is useful.
Okay.
Now come to SMEs, manufacturers, small manufacturers, medium-sized manufacturers, distributors. All of these people do their business on credit. A manufacturer in Bombay, let us say, is manufacturing some electrical components. Now this needs to be given to the distributor. Now he gives to the distributor on credit. Now when he is giving on credit, is the manufacturer assessing distributor's payment behavior or not, is important thing. Now, like how banks do when they are lending money, manufacturers should also do, because he's lending out his products on credit, which has some worth to it. The
Exactly.
problem today we have is no manufacturers or no distributors for that matter, because distributor also sells it to the next dealer. None of these people who are giving credit, providing products on credit, have no place to go and find how their payment behaviors are.
Okay. Okay.
Right.
So let me.
Therefore we have come. Therefore we want to solve the problem. We thought the time has come with the power of data, a power of information can change the landscape and transform SMEs forever.
Yeah. So right. So now addressing the late payment problem, Recordant, actively the collaboration definitely requires with various industry associations, to solve these payment issues for businesses, all these SMEs, right? So as we have discussed about the problem and the solution, now I would like to know from the features part, how does the your platform help to tackle these challenges effectively? What are the solutions that you provide specifically? And yeah, if you could throw some lights on this.
So the platform, in fact, as I mentioned, it's a very comprehensive all-in-one credit to cash platform. So to start off with a manufacturer first and the foremost, I'll take an example of a manufacturer or a distributor, it doesn't matter. So they can come to our platform and sign up for a subscription and start using my platform right from the time when buyer comes and asks for credit.
Okay.
Right? Now, what is that they can do on the platform is that our solution provides some information on the buyer, right? We also provide information from the bureau. So we have a partnership with Equifax. We also provide information from the bureau. So based on the information, the enterprise can take a decision how much, first of all, credit to be given or not, how much to be given. We are not suggesting to be given or not to be given. We are providing information. With that information, they will take decision.
Okay.
After that, they can manage the buyer on the platform. All the invoices that sent to the buyer, credit extended to the buyer, all of that can be managed on the platform. Once SME starts using, if SME has about 100 buyers, all 100 buyers will get a unique dashboard. So SME can start sending the dashboards to them where the buyers can see how many invoices have been raised, how many are pending, what is paid, what is not paid, and so on and so forth. So all of this is a complete buyer management can be done on the
Okay.
platform.
It's more like a one-stop solution. So you
There is
have
one
cracked
stop
this
solution.
model of a
Most that they can
multiple.
follow up for payments. Yeah, but the most crucial and important part of our platform is following up for payments. Now, they can collect payments from buyers, not just collect. They can actually send SMSs, emails, SMS, IVR, WhatsApp reminders, and all of these reminders have two levels of reminders. One is normal payment reminders. Another is the credit bureau reminders, credit bureau notification. These credit bureau notifications are the most powerful ones. Think
Yes.
we get a message from Sibyl saying that आपका record खराब हो रहा है. Your record is getting because you have not paid on time or your payment is pending. Now that has a different effect. So we
Exactly.
have two types of reminder systems for businesses to collect payments on time. One is a normal payment reminders, which goes on behalf of the business. The second one, if you think your payment bearer is still not paying, you can use a record and bureau notifications. And there is also an option after doing all of this, if still not getting payments on our platform, you can send a legal notice by just clicking a button.
Now explain the platform very well. I would like to know. There is a lot of technical aspects that are involved. I just wanted to know the role of technology in financial inclusion that has been an integral part of the Recordant company, and how does Recordant leverage the technology to empower SMEs, and when does it exactly started? Because if we will talk about 2008 or so, the technology then and now it entirely different. Now it is very high upscale. So I just wanted to know, how does tech is promoted in this fintech industry across the country?
See, the financial inclusion you're talking about, which is a very large and a vast area in terms of technology that we have or we have in the platform today. Primarily, we are on something called a mean stack where it allows the platform to integrate with as many as accounting softwares. So if an
Okay.
SME is on an accounting software or technology allows them to integrate with accounting software and start using our platform. Also, we are it's a very highly secured platform. We use something called AES 256 gold standards.
Okay.
And that AES 256 gold standards ensures the data is protected in an encrypted format and the data cannot be hacked and cannot come out of the platform without a proper consent, right?
Yeah.
So it's a very scalable and a very secure platform that today that we have in Recordant, right? So when you talk about financial inclusion part of it here, the ability of our platform to connect with accounting softwares is what is very inclusive in terms of what SMEs are using.
So we have talked about multiple things as of now. I just have some quick questions to ask for. So there are three questions like the best, or if you could throw some lights on the best solution that you provide of that you want to feature through this podcast, because I can see in your portal I have seen there are multiple things, there are multiple solutions that you are offering, like the sectors, SMEs, industry association for large corporates and for rental companies. Then talking about the solutions, credit risk management, insurance, legal notices, credit risk business analytics. There are so many things. I just wanted to know what's the best feature you want to claim through this podcast. And the second would be any new plans or maybe schemes, initiatives that you are planning to stay a step ahead in the industry. And the third question in this rapid fire would be about the knowledge center that I've seen in your portal. That's very fantastic. I got to know about a lot many things about that knowledge center that you have built on your website. So what are your plans with that knowledge center, and how you see it as a publisher and from a user's perspective both?
So I think the knowledge center part is what I can think of as your question. So knowledge center is a very inclusive initiative for us because there are so many businesses on our platform, SMEs on our platform, and we keep reaching out to a lot of associations. We work with associations. We have about 40,000 plus businesses on our platform, right? And then obviously today there is so much happening across the country, state
Yeah.
governments, central governments, and then there's some not-for-profit bodies. There are so many things happening to provide benefits and provide schemes and support SMEs for their growth. And we thought maybe all SMEs are not aware, and why don't we put all of them together at one place and create a sort of a knowledge center? And when we came with this thought, we thought if we are doing that, why not we also compile, curate? I mean, curate and compile all the digital tools that SMEs can use for their growth and for their benefit can also be compiled. And then we also added blogs which help SMEs in terms of knowledge building. So therefore, there are multiple things where we have seen it is going to benefit largely. So this initiative is a very socially oriented initiative for Recordant, to sort of help SMEs and and share knowledge and compile and curate the knowledge as well.
Yeah, and especially whenever I see any any startup or any organization focusing on the content part, my feet get on fire. So that's very nice initiative that you are doing to help people educate about the benefits and about the helping people to educate about the all the benefits they can claim. Right now, the
Yeah.
first question was the best solution you are providing. As I can see, there are multiple things. The solution that for there are multiple sectors who are targeting for SMEs, industry associations, large corporates, rental companies, and then there are solutions that you provide like legal initiate legal notices, loans, insurance, you know, red eye due, red eye, credit risk, business analytics. So, what's the best feature that you think you want to feature through this podcast?
I think it's like asking me a question, which one, whether you like your hands or eyes or, or ears. So all
Yes.
features are great. There's absolutely no doubt about it. But I think if, more than talking about what feature is the best, in fact, I'd rather suggest SMEs, features which are very useful to them. Today, SMEs have few challenge of, using different softwares for different things, right?
Okay.
So, because
Okay.
SMEs, first of all, don't have lot of people, and they're not very tech savvy. You should not spend so much time in using different technologies. Therefore, I would suggest SMEs to use a platform which provides all of it. That is our platform.
Okay.
Now, what is our core objective of our platform is to improve collections. So, our improving collections feature is the best feature, and this is where the SME should come onto our platform, use our payment reminders and the bureau notifications, and automatically they can obviously get access to every other feature.
Nice. Now, the other question that I was asking: any new plans or initiatives that you are planning to stay ahead in this future
Yes,
growth?
we are always, we are always look for opportunities to strengthen our relation with SMEs and associations. Today, as we speak, we are in discussions with one of the arms of the central government, which is the National Institute of MSME, to work on some research areas and solutions for SMEs to work together so that to be together with National Institute of MSME, we'll be able to contribute to the sector. So that's one of our key initiatives. It's a sort of a very collaborative initiative with government. That's one thing that we're looking forward, Lakshit, now.
Yeah, so I'm just wondering. So this question came to my top of head just now. So I was just wondering like about the data and aggregation and the insights. So with a with access to a vast network and then of partnership and the credit bureaus, and with great industry impact that you are building, recording has a now a wealth of data. And how do you analyze and leverage this data? Provide any valuable insights to the customers? Is maybe if it is in plan or something like this, if I would say,
We
is there
already
any?
have analytics. No, we
Yeah.
already have analytics inbuilt as a feature for SMEs.
Okay.
So, for example, with our analytics feature and analytics that we provide, MSMEs not only can analyze their existing customers and existing cash flows, but they can also forecast their futuristic cash flows, right?
Okay.
Futuristic growth. So that's the beauty of the analytics feature that we have on the platform, which is powered by Microsoft's Power BI. So that feature is already available. Now, coming to the aggregated data, uh, we do have plans in the roadmap to build in AI on top of it and start providing, forecasted data or pre-approved loans sort of a thing in collaboration with banks or NBFCs. And also, we would like to sort of run AI on top of it for predicting, for predictive insights about your
That's
collections, or predictive insights about your buyer's behavior or buyer's growth and buyer's decline in their business, and so on and so forth. So we have that in the roadmap. But today we already have feature which provides solutions to SMEs on forecasting and analyzing their own buyers and payments and cash flows.
that sound interesting. And now, as we are reaching to the end of this podcast, I would love to hear from you from a from the future perspective of Indian fintech industry. And your opinion, how do you envision the future of fintech industry in India, and what role will from a per se of from a Founder of Recordent CEO, what per se are shaping that future?
Yeah, so Indian fintech has sort of evolved so much, right? I think one of the top countries in the world in terms of the way the fintech has evolved, and the payments have evolved. So today we have the last miles of the country enabled with the payments interfaces, right? So we have seen the last decade complete revolution in terms of the consumers adopting to digital payments. I
Exactly.
think this decade, I strongly feel it's a time for SMEs to use the power of payments. Today, as of now, the SMEs do not receive payments on through payment systems. I think the fintechs still has lot of work to do for B2B payments, right? The B2C payments, there's so much revolution, there's so much evolved, but then I think in B2B payments, there's so much work to do, which we started off with invoice discounting and Threads platforms and companies like Recordent, who really provide solutions in the fintech space. But there's so much to do. I think this decade belongs to B2B, and I would call this revolution is going to be a B2B revolution, and it's going to be an SME tech that's going to ride this decade completely. Yeah.
That was insightful, and thank you for sharing those insights. Now, as a closing remark, if you want to share anything that we might have missed through this podcast, we would love to hear from you.
Well, I think at a closing insight, I would tell something. See, all entrepreneurs, SME entrepreneurs, small and medium enterprises, uh, most of them have been running family businesses. There are second generation entrepreneurs, third generation entrepreneurs. Then there are obviously first time entrepreneurs who started off, who are running small and medium enterprises. But all of them as individuals, they're consumers, right? All of them as individuals, they're consumers. They have used Swiggy, they've used Olas of the world, and they've used big baskets of the world and Amazons and Flipkarts of the world. So they as individually empowered with so much of technology. Now it's time for all of these entrepreneurs to see how they can use the technology to run their businesses. Use the technology to run their businesses.
Exactly.
They're enterprising enough, they're entrepreneurs. I think it's time they start using the power of technology to run their businesses. Till now, they're using the power of technology to run their own lives. start using the power of technology and power of data to run the business. That's my 2 cents.
Exactly. Data is the backbone of every fintech industry, and technology is the most crucial part of any business, or maybe any and for any entrepreneur's journey. So, thank you for joining for this podcast, Winnie. It was I would we would I would It's my pleasure to host you for this podcast, and looking forward to host you in future as well for future more initiatives.
Thank you so much, Lakshit. Thanks for having me, and all the very best for your podcast initiatives. And yeah, great talking to you. Namaskar.
Namaskar.